I don't want to give anything away because I need to do a whole video on just the epic lore of this journal. And like literally there's no words. Hello and welcome back to this little corner of the Fae realm. So today I wanted to let you in on a little secret if you didn't already know. Fairies love journals, okay? And I know I, for one, have a million and they all have different purposes and I need every single one of them. And I just want to emphasize that journaling is such a beautiful, powerful form of magic. Connecting with yourself so deeply because you are the treasure trove. You are the greatest mystery untold. You are the most epic tale to uncover and reveal. And this is kind of the foundation around the framework I found called Living Lore that I offer in mystical life coaching, where truly connecting deeply with yourself and your story then just emanates this epic reality of enchantment, of folklore, of true mystery and magic and wonder. And a huge part of revealing all of those truths, all of those mysteries and treasures of self is deep reflection. I think there is a specific power in taking the time to write pen to paper ideas, visions, hopes and dreams for the future, your life story on pages to then be able to reflect on and either uncover in the process of writing the mysteries or connect the dots when you look back and see certain dates or certain symbols or motifs that come up time and time again and start to weave that together. It all comes back to this notion of how powerful it is to bring something from your mental world, emotional world into the physical world through writing it out. And also the meditative moment it allows you when journaling to really sit with yourself and start to piece together the wonders of you. And also it provides this archival material of your lore, your story, your epic personal legend. So without further ado, let's get into some of these fun journals. This little baby one. This one is my gratitude journal. It is precious. It says, "You always make me smile," and it has a little teddy bear on it. So obviously I was like, you gonna be in my gratitude journal. And the way I use this is, in essence, at the end of each day, and sometimes I don't remember each day, so I play catch up, but basically every day is logged in this little journal. And don't mind my handwriting, but I write the date and then I say anything that I was grateful for that day. It can be super small, can be huge, but writing down the good thing that happened, the thing that I remember happened and can hold appreciation for, even if I didn't hold significant appreciation in the moment, now I'm taking that time to actually give it its due and be like, you know what? The fact that it was a sunny day meant so much to me. And I want to give that gratitude. Because it is dated, I date each gratitude and I do it for every single day. So when symbols start to show up or certain things I realize later are motifs, I can go back and see when the first iteration of it was, because usually it would be something that I called out as a gratitude, and then I can see the date right there. Now, another gratitude practice that I do is whenever I catch 11:11 on the clock, it's that specific time and me catching it is now a gateway into a direct line of access to the universe to be able to give thanks straight to the universe. Universe, I'm gonna let you know the 5 things I'm grateful for right now, just because I want to applaud you for all the epic work you're doing, and you're amazing, and I love you, and thank you for looking out for me. Giving that thanks only encourages the universe to show up more. So if you want more magic to show up in your life, do some gratitudes. All right, this peacock journal is my affirmation journal. Now, there's affirmations online that are amazing and great, and obviously people come up with their own affirmation list. There's guided meditations that have affirmations in them. For me, I found there is something really powerful about when I'm in a state of high, like when I'm like emotionally and spiritually and mentally in like a wow, I really did that, you know, after a huge accomplishment or after a wave of like downloads or insights that like reflect back to me just how much I'm worth and just how special I am and just how important my purpose here is in this life. I use that space that I'm in, that mental, energetic space, and I write in this journal. And channeling from that state onto the pages in this book allows me to then, when I need a little dose of reassurance or confidence boost or to remind myself of who I truly am, I go to this confident peacock journal and I flip to the page, and I can't remember if I date in here. No, I don't date in here. I was going to say, I don't think I do, because the whole point is that it's not about what day I felt like this. It's about the fact that this person exists at all times. This person who won, this person who achieved, this person who felt really good about themselves, this person who could see the true beauty of their spirit and wrote it down. And so some of them are lists, you know, of like I am statements. Some of them are just passages, like where I'm just stream of consciousness from this state writing. And in essence, it's creating this like charged book for me to turn to in the low moments, because we have those. Go like this. That is the way of life. We are living in cycles, and in those low periods, it's good to have a nice little confidence pick-me-up journal, affirmation journal, so you know you're never without, and you can be your own guiding light, your own fairy godmother, if you will, just reading aloud to yourself words that you knew you'd need, and so a past you wrote down. So now, this one's a fun one. This is a grimoire. And it's my grimoire because every grimoire looks different. If you know the word grimoire, it's used a lot in these spiritual, metaphysical communities. And in essence, it is a book for those on mystical journeys to record any teachings, learnings, spell work, insights, divinations. And I found this journal, and it's backwards or upside down. I forgot what the deal was with this. It like opens kind of strangely, but it has this beautiful like fairy goddess in this like lily pad with dragonflies. The vendor only had one of these, and the fact that it opened up backwards like this was even more magical to me, because it felt like it was from the other realm. And it's a beautiful, beautiful book with inside. It has like paper with flowers in it. And it's like nice and clothy. And I love the texture of it. And so making this my grimoire, where I'm like in the act of ritual, where I'm in the act of ceremony, and I'm like feeling this paper, and I'm using my ink pen, and I'm, you know, collaging in it, and I'm collecting, you know, forged materials and putting them in here, and recording different ceremonies and different divinations. And it meant a lot that the book itself had a very tactile experience of ritual and of earthly elements. Grimoires, there's all kinds of guides to help you get a grimoire started online. There's also already made grimoires that have like sections within them and prompts. I, again, like to put my own spin on things, so I appreciated just it being a blank book that really spoke to me and resonated with me. And yeah, using it as I see fit. So a grimoire is definitely a handy thing for a fairy to have. Another thing that is probably more common than a grimoire is just a daily journal. So I got here a daily journal. It's also beautiful because I like pretty things. I got this specifically because it spoke to me as a garden, obviously. I believe it's based off of Monet's gardens. But it spoke to me as the garden that I'm growing, the seeds that I'm planting, and the way that I'm intentionally building the world that I want to see, that I want to live in. And yeah, so for the daily journal, this is like the constant reminder of that as I'm on this journey. It's a little thicker than my usual daily journals, and I'm grateful because I write a lot, obviously, and I wanted it to last a little bit. I was going through journals so quick. But yeah, this is basically for me to just kind of dump my brain. It's an opportunity for me to put to page what I'm processing. If I want to record a day that was particularly magical or amazing, and I just want to like detail everything out so that like I can go back to that day if I want to and just relive it from the moment when it happened. I actually don't use this daily because, as you can see, I have many journals, but yet it's always there for any day, any time of day. It's got a little bit of everything in here. It also creates a mindful moment of any moment. So if I'm like out and about and the day is hurried and I need to slow down, the fact that I have this in my bag, I can just sit down and just like stream of consciousness go and see what reveals itself to me in that moment. So having a daily journal is also just a reminder to slow down every now and then and give yourself that moment of reflection. Which brings me to this other book, which it's not as robust as the others, so I had to like tape it together, but I still love it. And this is my poetry journal. I love writing poetry. I am a songwriter, so a lot of my songs start off as poems. But the act of writing poetry allows you to really get into a romantic headspace. And like romantic, not necessarily in the lovey-dovey, but in the like really deeply, passionately appreciative of the beauty and the poetry of being, of life, of being present. And to gift yourself a moment to write poetry. You don't even have to be good at poetry. There's no rules to poetry. I change my rhythm and rhymes throughout. I guess it's kind of free verse. But the point of it is just to get in that headspace. Like when I sit down and I pull this out, it's because I just want to be in a vibe. I love that poems don't have to make perfect sense. I love that they can be like super avant-garde, esoteric. What's happening is like a current is channeling through into this like free form artistic way. And because it's so charged with the current being passed in that headspace, it doesn't really matter what the words say, because when people hear it, when people read it, they are swept up in that current. And that's why I love poetry so much, is it's like a very direct channel to connect with others. And I find that like when I'm in that particularly like romanticized space, which I tend to be in quite often, you know, as a fairy, but when I'm in this like very intentional, like I feel so like literally there's no words. When I feel like there's no words, I pull out the poetry journal and I'm like, okay, I just need to vibe. I just need to express and get across this current of energy that I'm swimming in, because I can't put it to words. That's what this is for. I'm a very visually inspired person. I love entering into worlds or cinematic experiences, and so like a coffee shop is a whole world that can like put me in a whole state, and then I channel from there. A lily pond is a completely different world and state of being that it will put me in. But if I know I'm going to some place that's going to like set a vibe, I'll try to bring this poetry journal. And now the manifestation journal. I need to do a whole video on this journal, but here she is. It is a Josephine Wall artwork, and it's the soul of the unicorn. And I saw this journal, and I so often find like fantastical artwork tends to be very Caucasian. And she was purple and she didn't have straight blonde hair. She had what seemed like peacock hair. I don't want to give anything away because I need to do a whole like video on just the epic lore of this journal. But a little sneak peek is I ended up having peacock hair without realizing that she had peacock hair. Until after the fact, and then it was like a whole thing. But anyway, there's lots of reveals that this book has revealed to me over the years, but I knew from the moment I saw it that this book needed to be that manifestation journal, like very intentionally the place where my wildest dreams and my ideal reality, my ultimate aspirations went, because just look at it. Like everything about it is my ultimate aspirations in so many ways. Everyone has their own way of doing manifestations, and not everyone has a dedicated book just for manifestations. But for me, it was really important to have a dedicated book, and I have a dedicated fountain pen for it too, or a glass dip pen. And it actually matches, just again, synchronicities. Look how cute they look together. Anyway, so yeah, this is the pen set that I use specifically when I am recording all my manifestations in here. And so the way that I use this book is, it kind of intuitively came to me, where first, I was doing various visualization meditations to really see into the future. And then I would record everything I saw in here. And after doing a few of those, it helps clarify what the ultimate dream vision is for me. And then I narrowed down what that dream vision life was to 11 things. And then I wrote that list as my manifested life has these 11 things. What I do now is I have another list that is a rolling list that's called manifestation milestones. And in essence, I'm dating every time something happens that is aligned with the eventuality of those 11 things on that manifested life list. So what that means is anything that gets me any step closer to that ideal life, I put on the manifestation milestones list, because it is a milestone as I'm on this journey towards that fully manifested reality. And what's so exciting about using it like this is that first of all, I've been doing this now for 4 years. There are so much, there's been so many milestones that have happened, and that alone is so affirming and exciting. But then it's also, again, a great record of proof of synchronicities, of proof of this divine path, of proof of the motifs and symbols in my life that are unique to my legend, to my living lore. And I do go back and I'm oh my gosh, that was a full moon in Aquarius. Of course that's happened. And then I'll go back after having achieved something major, and I'll realize that it happened exactly a month after I had the idea for it. And so it's a really fun way to start to reveal the mysteries of your life. And it's different than the gratitude journal because this is very choice moments. I'm not doing it daily. I'm very specifically only recording when a pivotal thing that aligns with that ultimate reality happens. Not that the ultimate reality has come true, but that something has happened that is aligned with that list over there. Or something has happened that is getting me closer towards that ultimate reality. But yeah, it has been so powerful, and it's just so exciting to just see my journey in this documented way. And I'm really into numerology and astrology, so then being able to see the numerological magic in all this too, the astrological insights that now come through now that I'm more learned in that space, and then to look back and realize that was a big astrology moment too. That makes so much sense how that's how I was called into it. Anyway, it's so exciting, and I mean, I'm still in it. I'm still revealing the milestones as they come, and it's such a beautiful practice also to sit down with my glass tip pen and this book, and I like put on music and I like go back into daily journal or into my gratitude journal because they are dated, and I can review what things have happened that like align with that ultimate reality and then record them. And just as I get more and more honed in on what my true path is, it's like the milestones are just like, there's so many in a month. I mean, manifestation milestones are happening so often now, which is so exciting. But that's like what happens when you are following that path. And if you are on the aligned path and you're honing in on your soul's true mission, the synchronicities and the manifestations will just, they'll just pile through. It's like too much to do it every time they happen. So I sit down at the end of each month and I kind of go through the month and piece out those major ones and then put them down, which is why it's also helpful to have the other journals that are dated daily, to refer back to, because I'm not going to remember everything, but I can remember a good amount because I have them recorded either in the daily journal or in the gratitude journal. And then lastly, we have my Living Lore Tome. Okay, so this is actually a beautiful handmade journal from Bolivia that a friend of mine got me when they traveled there. And they literally gave it to me with a little note that said, "Let this be a tome for you." And I was like, oh, perfect. Exactly what I needed, a Living Lore Tome. And so I use it to document certain motifs that then come through in any and all of these journals, or ones that just come to me as insights that I realize are their own sort of through line in my life. And Kitty wants to join me as I tell you about this. This is my kitty Luna. She is very magical and she is my familiar. And so she knows what's up and she knows how magical this book is. Yes, baby. Oh, kitties. It's their world. We're just living in it. This is, in essence, the bones of my personal legend. And I'm using, what's coming through in all these different books and then synthesizing them into this book. So this is like very much the distilled like insights and motifs and symbols and threads that I'm connecting together and weaving, and archetypes that are showing themselves, and various elements of the world that are revealing themselves as part of my legend. And this concept of living lore is one that granted my life so much deep meaning and purpose, and illuminate aspects of myself and this journey with such enchantment, and makes every day now this like epic tale that I'm uncovering, that's unfolding before my eyes. And having it again in this book helps it be really clear and helps me piece together the grand story that is my life. And this is the work that I, as a fairy guide, do in my mystical life coaching series, Living Lore, where I basically take you on the journey of your own life and help you synthesize the very true, real, epic fantasy novel that is your life. It's not so much a writing exercise as it is quite literally me being like a magic detective for your life story, and going through really deep, really reflective work, various meditation journeys, and we bring in numerology and we bring in astrology, and we do all kinds of card readings, and I channel for you, and we do origin story work. It's a whole thing for us to get to the root of who you are, your plot, and the world that you're building. Not to get all into it here, but I'll post a link in the description so you can check it out and see if it resonates with you. But I'm doing it for myself too. I've been doing it for years, and it is what's helped me realize this truly enchanted reality. It's what has helped me find myself and also really understand my soul's purpose, my soul mission here. And just that has been such a gift to have that clarity and that direction. And I've been able to understand my own personal superpowers and harness them and really cultivate the world that I want to see, the world that I want to live in, and experience life as this truly epic fairy tale. And fairy tale does not mean happy, happy, charm, charm. It means like all the ups and downs of the real fairy tales. Like fairy tales are not sitting pretty. Fairy tales go places, and there is always still this truth of magic throughout. And that is what I've found for myself, and that is what I hope to help guide people into, to step into that enchanted reality, because living a life with that much meaning and magic and purpose and fulfillment, I mean, that to me is the meaning of life, is to live a life most fulfilled. And to do that, I feel like it really does come down to being able to experience your life deeply entrenched in meaning. And magic gives things meaning, and magic makes things exciting, and magic is real. So why not have more magic in your life? Seems like a win-win. So yeah, those are my books. This is my kitty's butt. I'm so grateful to have been able to share a little sprinkling of the journals that I have. But I'd say that these are the ones I use most regularly. I wanted to make sure that this first introduction of journaling featured these. So I hope that you start on a journaling adventure if you haven't already, and know that there are never too many journals. And I wish you the journey of a lifetime in magic and wonder. Until next time.